I'm KIRO 7 Pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard.
It is partly sunny and 62 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Ursula Royteen.
Miss anything? Follow us on Facebook to get caught up. KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. News and talk. Powered by the Pacific Northwest.
The Big Lead is brought to you by 3010 Weight Loss for Life.
The Dori Monson Show on KIRO Radio. This is The Big Lead.
Coming to you from the Carter Subaru studio and streaming on Facebook Live. Welcome. Welcome to the big show. Welcome back, Ursula. How's your son's college graduation?
It was fantastic, and I only teared up once. I was actually pretty surprised. It was so busy.
Yeah.
And it's so massive.
And you enjoyed it?
I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It was, yeah.
I'm not going to miss that's one thing I won't miss now that my girls are all grown and out of college.
Yeah.
I will not miss graduation ceremonies.
I know. You hate the long speeches and all that. I didn't think the speeches were that long. I actually there were two events. I had to go to he did 2 degrees, and I had to go to 2 different.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you loved it.
Yes.
Good deal. I made a tactical error today.
What's that?
Well, I got a new toy this weekend. So I decided to invest in one of the, because I'm a very environmentally conscious person.
I know. If the first thing I think of when I think Dori,
Yes.
environmentally conscious.
I used to ride my bike to work, but it took me so darn long. And I hated riding home.
And as the years went by, it just kept getting longer and longer.
Yes. And so I truly enjoyed riding in the morning, but riding home, I have no energy after the show.
Yeah, you give it all in the show.
Yeah. And so I got one of those wimpy e-bikes.
I took a look at it.
Yeah.
It is a beauty.
It's a humdinger. So
we had talked about getting one, so you're going to have to tell us.
I know you'd been talking about it.
Yes.
But here's the problem, because I will usually go to the gym on the way to work, and I have a gym bag, and that's got my shampoo and my body wash and my deodorant and all of that. Well, I needed a backpack today, so I borrowed one of my daughter's backpacks, and I brought a change of clothes and lunch. I forgot to bring soap, shampoo, deodorant, towel.
I know. So when I came in today, I gave Dori a hug. I was coming up to him, and then I could see that you were like starting to turn your body,
bad.
giving me the indication that you're like, not today.
Yeah. And I said I'm stinky. And I'm going to be stinky throughout the show, and I feel bad about that. But I don't have to change back into my bike clothes for the ride home.
You know what?
Because I'm already wearing them.
It's a beautiful sunny Monday, and congratulations on riding your bike,
Thank
and
you.
I don't smell a thing. So you're good.
Yeah, it was good little work, because you can have very little assist.
I was going to say, so how much are you using the electric part?
Very little coming in. I'm guessing very lot going home. But I'm thrilled with it. I'm just thrilled.
Great.
I rode hills around my house yesterday that I have never been able to attack on a bicycle before.
Okay, so if you tell me in a couple of weeks you still love it,
Yeah.
then I'm going to ask for one for my birthday in August.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. That's the new little toy I've got here. But we've got a lot of news to get to as we start a new week. So let's get right into the Big Lead.
The Big Lead. Top story.
Last Thursday, we told you the story of a 91-year-old woman. She was on Market Street in Ballard, had just gone into a store when a crazy man, 23 years old, Adrian Parks, he violently threw this 91-year-old woman to the ground, shattering one of her elbows. Everything's serious when you're 91 years old, but this poor woman, she gets her elbow shattered by a guy who exactly 2 months earlier had been released in the game of human roulette that is played by our local prosecutors. In this particular case, 2 months before he slammed down this elderly woman, Adrian Parks was found in West Seattle. He was on a rooftop attempting to gain entry to some apartments. Police found a 10-inch serrated blade down his pants. They took him in. I would think that attempted armed burglary would be a pretty serious charge. But no, not around here. That's not the way we play it here. And so they had held him for 4 days before his court hearing for that case. And then they said, you know what, we're going to sentence you to 4 days already served. Go and be on your way, sir. This man had a long criminal history, came to our area from far away, of course, because this part of, it's just your neighbors, the kids you went to elementary school with, they're just falling on hard times. They're the ones on the streets. No. And so that was last Thursday's story. Now we have one today. It's up at mynorthwest.com. But there was a guy who was arrested right across the street from the radio station, Thomas McPhillips. Listen to this guy. He was waving around a folding knife. He was harassing people into buying a pair of Beats headphones that he had on him. He was drinking from a bottle of vodka. He had a sleeping bag out there with him. He's from Kansas, by the way. Police were called because a woman who lives in an apartment nearby reported that he was hostile. And when the cops came, they saw him drink out of one of the liquor bottles several times. They found that he had a trespass warrant against him. He began cussing at officers on scene, threatening to assault all of the cops who responded. They found a check for $1,246 that had been made out to a local real estate company, and a blank check. He said the blank check was from some guy who owes him money. The other check appears to be mail theft. He had several narcotics pipes and weed. He had numerous high-dollar electronic items that he claimed he found in the trash can, and he had 2 legal-length pocket knives. And so they found out the check for $1,200 had been stolen out of a mailbox, and that's pretty serious. Mail theft. You can hold somebody on mail theft, I would think, for a long time. That's a federal crime. So what'd they do? They didn't pursue any charges against the guy. They said it's too tough to prove that he personally stole the items. And just being in possession of them, maybe he did just find high-end electronics in a garbage can. That's how most people dispose of their high-end working electronics. Just put them in a garbage can, right? So what'd they say? Plead guilty. Same thing as the guy who shattered the 91-year-old woman's elbow. Just plead guilty. We'll give you credit for time served, 4 days, and you can be on your way. And so, this guy, back walking the streets today. Who's he going to hurt next? Who's he going to kill? How about the guy who shattered the woman's elbow? They knew, given his long criminal history, they knew that he was going to reoffend, likely within hours, days at the most, of getting out. But that's the game that's being played right now. Because we have 2 feckless group of prosecutors around here, they need and want the criminals on the street for reasons we have painstakingly detailed over the last few years. And they are willing to sacrifice the honest, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens of this region, who will someday be attacked by one of these guys. And the beat goes on. It's just absolute insanity around here. And everybody talks about the changing the city council. We got to do something about the prosecutor's offices, the Seattle City Attorney and the King County Prosecutor, because this is ridiculous. Letting people who have long rap sheets go, knowing that they're going to assault again, and then just waiting to pick up the shattered pieces of another life blown up by one of these guys after they let him go. As I said last Thursday when the 91-year-old woman story came to us, how do they sleep at night, knowing that if they had gotten tougher, knowing that they could have prevented a 91-year-old from a devastating injury. Knowing that how about the guy who tried to throw the woman off the overpass onto I-5, had punched random women in the face previously. They let him go because he was mentally unstable. So they just wait to see whose life he takes next. How do you live with yourself? Next up in the big lead.
The Big Lead. Top trending.
So, whales are washing up on Washington beaches, a record number of them, all around the Puget Sound area this year. King 5 talked to a guy named Mario Rivera and his wife because the state said, we don't have any place to tow them or to drag them to, so will you private beach landowners, will you just let the whales decompose on your beach, please?
It's decomposing faster than we thought.
This gray whale died in a shipping lane 5 miles south of their home. Wildlife officials needed to put it somewhere to dissect it, so Mario and Stephanie agreed.
It's just a really unique opportunity, too, to have this here on the beach and just monitor it and see how fast it goes.
That sounds very stinky, waiting for a whale to decompose. But this couple said, no, they get just whiffs of it every once in a while, but it's not too bad, they said. But, man, I don't understand why they can't just tow it out and find a way to sink it at sea, these stinky dying whales.
About 30 gray whales have stranded in Washington so far this year, the most in about 2 decades. So NOAA is looking for private landowners with beachfront property willing to let the whales decompose in their backyards.
It's not that bad, so that's why we're hoping other landowners would do this.
Private landowners stepping up would be fabulous. That would really help.
Wow. So that's all from king5.com there.
And part of the reason, I think, is because they're trying some new techniques. So that this one, I believe they put lime on it, hoping that it would speed up the decomposition. Yeah. And that's why they want to watch them. So you have to let them come and watch this whale decompose on your land.
Just
gross.
Sounds like a very, because if you have a private beach, that's lovely. Just go down there and watch a whale decompose. You know what they should do? I've played this many times over the years, but I've got, anytime I have the slightest sliver of an opportunity to play this, this is from 1970, when a whale washed up on the beach down in Oregon. And they decided that the way they wanted to dispose of this whale was to blow it up. So they were going to pack explosives under and around the whale. And if you've heard this before, I know you're going to love hearing it again, because this is my favorite local TV news report of all time. This is 1970, K2 in Portland, covering the story of their attempt to blow up a beached whale in Oregon. By the way, I love everything about this reporter. I love his writing. I love his voice. I love everything about this guy. Everything about this is perfect. So, half-ton of dynamite. That sounds like a lot of dynamite to me. A half-ton, but I'm sure they were all experts. Indeed. So in other words, they thought, if anything, we're under blowing up this whale, and there might be large pieces left. But no, they used enough dynamite to blow this whale to smithereens. Ah, you get it?
With a blasted blubber beyond all believable bounds.
Okay, so now they've moved the people back, and now they're going to blow up this whale into tiny pieces, and then the seagulls would eat it. So what happened?
You get a wild?
Come on, fire that whale! Okay, now, quickly, pieces of whale started raining down on the spectators a quarter mile away. And it's just, it's the greatest.
All right, Fred, you can take your hands out of your ears.
You hear that sound like rain? Those are tiny pieces of whale landing around the spectators and the camera crews.
Here come pieces.
Here come pieces, the woman says.
Our camera stopped rolling immediately after.
They have a picture of that. This huge chunk of whale landed on one of the cars that was so far away. This was government work at its finest.
The passenger.
Oh, man. Best local TV news report ever. So I say let's bring that back. Let's go to Port Hadlock and state of Washington. Show them that you can do it better than the state of Oregon could 50 years ago, 49 years ago. Go blow up some whales. I might even come do my show live if you'll blow up a whale on one of the beaches here. That would be a good live broadcast right there. We'll blow it up at 2:45. We'll build up to it, and you can get. I bet Jay Inslee and Bob Ferguson, they'll get you to adjust the dynamite so the whale is blown right at me. I bet you could try to pick me off, but I'm pretty nimble. I could be like the Matrix. So anyway, let's do it. Let's blow up some whales around here. That is your big lead for today.
The Big Lead on KIRO Radio.
Hey, it's Monday afternoon, which means it's time for the Monday Monson quarterback. Brock Heward's going to drop by for a visit. Next.
This hour of the Dori Monson Show is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
You can now hear KIRO Radio